Hello, everyone. Welcome to this New Year's first episode of Pairfect, the daily Tribune digital show that takes you up close and personal with leading names in different industries. I am Dinah Ventura.
And I am Jojo Silvestre. Happy New Year, Dina.
Happy New Year!
We are privileged to have with us today the fashion designer, regenerative, do you pronounce it that way? Farmer and holistic wellness teacher, Hindy Weber Tantoco.
Welcome, Hindy.
Welcome,
Thank you so
Hindy.
much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
so
very glad you're here with us.
our
Yeah.
first guest
Yeah,
for the year.
yes.
No?
First
Buena
guest.
mano ito.
Oh, kailangan
Yes, of
trailblazer.
2024.
Yes.
And also my first day back at work. Buena mano.
Oo, ba naman tayo.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so first question. Okay, so we heard that you joined a Muay Thai
Wow.
competition
Oh, yes.
recently, and you won.
Let's, get,
Right?
let's get straight to
Yeah,
it.
let's get straight to the to the matter. So that's quite a departure from your image as a fashion designer, right? And holistic
Wow.
lifestyle advocate. So please tell us how you got into that. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I like to break the mold if you haven't noticed.
You do.
Yeah.
I started off as a fashion designer and then I became a farmer, a regenerative,
Yeah.
organic
Ah,
farmer.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, being a mom and wife, that's very much a part of my persona. But at that time, I was 49, turning 50. This was about middle of the year,
Okay,
about May.
2023.
And I had already been training for Muay Thai just for fitness
Okay.
Yes.
for 3-4 years. Even all throughout the
And then-
lockdowns, that was my form of fitness, that and running. That
What
was-
did you see in the sport? I mean, it's different. It's
Well, I love Jackie Chan. I love Jet Li, Kung Fu movies.
okay.
Ever since I was a little girl.
Really?
Yes, so actually when I was 9 or 10, I was already learning karate.
Wow.
Oh.
And then
Imagine.
and then of course that evolved into other things, other things like gymnastics and dance, and I forgot all about it. And there was an Elorde gym that opened
Yes.
near us.
In Parañaque.
We live in Laguna, so
Ah, okay,
it was
there was one there.
the first gym that opened there.
Okay.
And my friend and business partner said, why don't we try boxing? So we walked in, and the coaches were fantastic, but
Yes.
I didn't limit myself to boxing
Okay.
because I found it a little too heavy and
Yes.
kind of masculine.
Yes.
Whereas Muay Thai, and there were coaches there as well.
Okay.
It's the art of 8 limbs. So it's not just
Really?
all fists, and so
kick,
you
right?
use your
legs.
elbows, yes, your
Wow.
legs, your knees. So
Okay,
it was a
okay.
little bit more fluid for me. And then you also feel very empowered.
Oh,
So
yes,
that
yes.
it was a challenge. It was actually a dare for my 50th birthday to join a competition.
And you did.
Yes, and Jojo, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
But you won.
I did, by God's grace. I said, you know what? Win or lose, I'm just going to do this.
Yes.
Face my fear.
Yeah.
And, I'll just be happy to be standing.
It's
at
a woman's
the,
competition.
Yes.
Okay.
But my opponent was like 21 or something like that. And I'm like 50.
Yeah.
So I was just happy to be standing, and to have won was a huge surprise, and it just
Yes.
brought me to tears. And yes.
Congratulations.
Is that
That's
something
a
you
feat.
do every day or?
No, it's become just a once a week training now. Although of course if you're about to go into a competition,
Competition.
then you will prepare.
So how long did you prepare for that?
2.5 months.
Wow.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't going to get her on strength, right? So I really worked on my stamina.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
How long
yeah.
was the fight?
But it's
I
so
mean,
scary to be against someone who wants nothing more than to knock you down.
Yes.
Really, it was like,
what was going through your mind when you were like in the middle of the
just completely terrified. You forget
Yeah,
all
yeah.
your combinations, everything you plan to do
Out the window.
out the window. It's kind of like giving birth, I'm going to be like this and like this,
Yes,
and
yes.
then you just have to go with it.
Did your husband watch?
Yes. And all my
The
children,
children were there.
and yeah, our fight club, our gang, and
And
our
they were
friends.
cheering for you, I
Yes,
guess.
and like maybe 20 seconds into it, they all fell quiet, and I got
Oh.
so scared. 'Cause I think they were really scared
for
because the
you,
first
yeah.
round was
Intense.
very intense. I was getting clobbered.
How many rounds did you?
3 rounds.
Okay. You finished all three.
Yes.
No knockdown.
Oh, she knocked me down in the
Oh.
first round.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then you stood up, and then you
And I
started.
stood up, and then I was like, do I have to do this all over again? Then the bell rang, and I had to do it all over again.
Just keep going.
I was half hoping that the referee would call it off after the first round. But thankfully, she didn't, and I went on to the second round, and I got my head much clearer, and I was not as afraid.
Yeah.
So I became a little bit more strategic with my moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Dina, Hindy is not your usual
Person.
lady, woman, no?
Yes.
It's a different kind of woman.
She's always been.
And you know, she has also done a lot of things that other women have not done. She's a trailblazer in many
Yes.
ways. Can you share with us your career path and what changes did you introduce to fashion?
The risks
to,
you've
not just
taken.
fashion, the whole wellness thing.
Moving
Tell us
out of
about your
Manila.
career. Yeah, yeah. Even your choice
Yeah.
of residence.
Yes, well, I've always had a lot of interests as a young girl. I really loved science. I was a big science geek in
science.
biology and zoology. I really thought that was my path
Yeah.
into wildlife conservation and environmental science. But I also really loved art.
Okay.
Oh.
So I would
and it is
sketch and
design.
paint.
Oh.
And then came like time for college, and for some reason, I ended up in communication arts.
That's in Ateneo.
Yes.
Okay.
And
High
then-
school was in Mernol.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And then
It was called Mernol.
it was called Maryknoll.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Actually, we were the last graduates.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So
And we
college.
still had nuns
Ah, yes.
at that time. So we were living near Maryknoll and near Ateneo at that time. So that was
Okay.
our neighborhood. But anyways, and then I just became very interested in fashion. I used to collect Vogue and Elle and Bazaar and W, and I had like stacks and stacks in my room. And my mom was like, "What are you gonna do with all that?" But I would immerse myself in them. I memorized all the models, the designers, the advertising. So I went into communication arts for
Yeah.
fashion advertising and
Yes.
marketing.
Wow.
That was, I thought, the field that I was going to go into.
Yes. And so what was your first job?
No, then I went to New York to study fashion.
Design.
And when I was there, I said,
Ah,
I want to make my own clothes too. I can't just
Okay.
like, I want to make my own brand.
Okay.
It was really about brand building. So I finished at the Fashion Institute. in
Okay.
New
You took up
York.
what? Was it a certificate course?
Yes, because it was my postgraduate
Yes.
already.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
design and marketing
Ah, okay.
and public relations.
Also.
So
okay.
I came back and pursued that career.
You were single.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I worked in Rustans as a private label designer for 11 years.
What was the name of the?
Brand.
Oh, so many.
labels.
There was Rustans VIP.
Oh, you
like,
did that.
yeah, Young
Okay.
VIP.
Yes.
And then there was Cult Femme. And then U, like the letter U for
Yes.
young adults.
Yes.
Then I did swimwear. I did maternity wear. I
Really?
did children's wear. I started the brands for the children's called Kiddos. I started the
Kiddos.
maternity line called Belle Mama. I started the women's line
Yeah.
called Cult Femme.
And you were so
So-
young.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but already in love with
With
a young
fashion.
family.
Also,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
So the brands that you created followed what was going on with your life at that time, right?
Well,
So like when you became a
um,
mom, then you
in a way,
created.
but I mean, we had directives from management. Oh, we need a
Oh,
maternity
yes.
brand.
Yeah.
We need a swimwear brand. So all these trends were also studied.
So what
So-
made you decide to give that up after 11 years?
Well, I had very young children, and my daughter was born, in like before she was a year old. She developed inflammation in her brain. So I really had to focus on her therapy, on her diet. So we moved to Laguna so that I could start growing our own food, and
Oh, yes.
my whole organic lifestyle started from there.
I see.
And I would then I started. So I took a break from fashion at that time and started learning about soil, the water systems, growing
Wow.
food. So I'd walk into like a farming class with all these older men. They're like,
Farmers.
what are you doing here? what
Was it a school or was it a training center?
No, it's just certain training workshops
Yeah.
that these more established farmers,
Yes, yes.
would organize.
Yes, yes.
So you felt that you
And I would
had
sign
to-
up.
You had to do that because why? What kind of treatment did your daughter
Oh,
need?
well, they were saying, oh, we don't. This is such a novel condition. We don't know what it is. There's no, there's no treatment for it. There's no medicine for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's a mother to do, right? I can't just go
Yes.
home and
Yeah, yeah.
Not do anything.
not do anything.
yeah.
So I did research on neurological conditions, on inflammation, and so that's what opened the can of worms in terms of alternative medicine,
Okay.
uh,
See.
homeopathic, herbal remedies. That's really what led me to that.
So what
So-
Yeah. We didn't know
what
that.
resulted? How did you move from there from discovering all these things and learning about this? Do you have a brand now that has to do with holistic lifestyle or
Yes, we actually started a
advocacy?
farm called Holy Carabao Farm.
that one?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to visit you one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're actually an educational farm.
A
We
school.
welcome, yes,
Wow.
we welcome kids of all ages. They come and do their field trips. We teach them about soil health and
Where is this?
growing food in Santa Rosa, Laguna.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a part of
So-
Santa Elena.
It's right outside.
Right outside.
Yes.
So, okay, okay.
But you also have products, right? A
Yes,
brand,
we used to have
Holy-
products pre-pandemic, and then we halted that and focused purely on our classes and workshops. So we have farming workshops, we have nutrition workshops, beekeeping workshops.
I'm sure you're
Okay.
getting a lot of students now because so many people are getting into farming.
Quite a
right?
lot. So
Yes.
we can accept up to 200 students at a time.
Really?
And my partner and I do the teaching ourselves.
Wow.
We don't delegate this. So when you sign up for these classes, you're taught by me and my
Okay.
partner, and we both have between us over 30 years experience in this. So we make it fun for the kids. It's not boring. So we make sure that they have games to play, and a lot of them have never seen a carabao before or have never seen a black pig.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's
You'll be
right.
surprised.
That's like giving them the kind of childhood we used to have. long ago,
Exactly.
Where
Yeah.
you could play
Exactly.
on ground.
We should visit one time
Yes.
and take
Learn.
pictures.
Yes, we
Something.
also have a
Watch you.
cafe.
Okay.
We have a
Really?
cafe
What is it
where
called?
Farm Shed Cafe.
Okay, okay.
So
Gosh. But you can't stay there overnight. And
no,
back.
no.
So it's a one-day
You
experience.
can have a
always.
Yes.
tour for a day.
You can have a
or
tour for the
after.
day.
Uy,
Nice.
maganda.
And
Nice.
we give you a certificate if you do one of our courses. Example,
Okay.
if you do our beekeeping course, we'll give you a certificate.
Beekeeping.
Yes.
So who's with you? I guess you have
Partner.
yeah or
Yeah, we have
or
farmers. We have our team.
experts.
Yes. Depends on what it is. Most of it, we're the experts already.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But if it's something very technical, we'll invite
Yeah,
like a keynote speaker.
Okay.
But
but
for the field trips for the
kids.
children,
Yeah,
that's
you.
that's
Okay.
us.
yeah.
Galing.
Teacher Hindy and Teacher Melanie.
Yeah. You're a guru.
Ay.
Well, no. I don't think I know.
And
Not
Jojo,
guru level.
I think you started something new again. I mean, people were not into that yet, and you started it already, and now you're in a position to teach
Yes,
people who
Yes.
are
yes.
increasingly getting into that kind of lifestyle. So, galing, diba? We'll ask more questions, but for now, let's take a short break.
This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Alamin ang pinakamaiinit na balita at mahalagang issue na bumabalot ngayon sa ating bansa. Ating pag-usapan, blow by blow, dito lang sa Hot Patatas, kasama sila Chicky Mangkukang, Vernon Velasco at Gio Leaño. Yung Lunes, Miyerkules at Biyernes, alas 3 ng hapon, dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Pairfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Parayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakera ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Welcome back to Pairfect. We're still here.
Yes, with Miss Hindy Weber
Yeah.
Tantoco, who is a regenerative farmer. So would you like to tell us
What
what
does that
exactly does that mean?
Well, you must have already heard about sustainable farming.
Yes.
Okay.
That trending word, sustainability.
Yes.
But in our farm, we take it up a notch, and it's regenerative because we're not just sustaining
Okay.
or keeping things as is.
Okay.
We're actually
Okay.
recreating
Yeah.
and transforming
Okay.
soil systems and water systems by the way we farm. So, we also hear about organic farming, but there's lots of ways to just use that without really being beneficial to the ecosystem.
Okay.
But regenerative really looks at the farm as an entire ecosystem to help the whole planet, and not just compartmentalized, right? Because there are organic farms that, well, they don't use pesticides, but around them is not very clean and
Okay.
right. But
So you went
regenerate,
further.
yes, yeah.
Okay. How did you start out as a regenerative farmer right away, or was it something that you gradually
I started
grew
off as a
into?
biodynamic
Okay.
organic farmer. That was my training.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know Nicanor Perlas.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He was one of my
Yeah,
first
yeah.
mentors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that group. Well, I'm
Yeah.
trying to
At that
remember.
at that time, he
Yeah.
was very focused on his farm.
Yeah, Waldorf something.
Yeah. So
Yes,
my
yeah.
children go to that school.
Yeah.
I see.
An aunt of mine was director, Fajardo. Mary John Fajardo.
Oh yes, we
is
know
my
Mary Jo.
mom's
She's a
cousin.
mentor. Like
She's gone now.
yes,
Oh,
we love Mary
yeah,
Joan.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Pioneering of
yeah.
pioneered Waldorf schools here in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
So even your children's education was progressive
Yeah.
and different,
Different.
no?
Oo.
Yeah, it wasn't the usual.
We think it's
Traditional
different, but
setup.
really it's just going back to basics and back to
Yeah.
roots.
Yeah.
And honoring the child and the inner wisdom of the child,
Yes.
and also honoring everything around one another, honoring the individual, honoring the community and the whole planet, kind of working seamlessly together, integrated. Yeah.
Okay.
We like to call it progressive,
Progressive, but
but it's really just
yes.
more like just the,
Yeah.
How will you
like
define
Dina,
it?
It's got to be regular.
Dina
It's
was
got to
saying
be-
that's how we used to play when we were
Yeah.
Well, we're just
oo.
going back to the way
Yeah, that's
it
right.
should be, right?
Going back to the anchor, no? Parang
Yeah.
ganun, parang
Yes.
I
the
think
roots,
the whole planet is going in that direction, and you were there way ahead of so many
Oh,
people
no.
in the Philippines. So I'd like to go back a little bit to that point when you made that decision, and then you went right from a different kind of lifestyle into something so different. How was that? Was that very difficult? What did you have to give up?
I didn't realize it would be that difficult. If I knew, I wouldn't have done it.
Really? Yeah. Did you have to
But
give
I guess
up so
that's-
many things?
Yes, we gave up our place in Makati, in the
Yes.
city,
Yeah.
all those conveniences. When we first moved to Laguna, there was no movie theater, not much of a community yet. But my children were small. So they were still
okay.
young.
They didn't look for.
They didn't have much of a say yet, right? But now, they're teenagers. So
Yeah.
if I pluck them out and move to the gubat,
would be
I think
different.
I think they wouldn't be happy about that. But at that time, they were still very young.
But where did they go to school? Did they go all the way to Manila for?
No, we had a Waldorf school there.
Right there.
Yes,
Ah, okay.
Good, good, good.
which is
Nice.
one of the reasons we moved to Laguna.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, so
Like that was
Yeah.
complete turnaround.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, you'll be surprised, but I actually saw more friends visiting us there than we did when we were in the middle of the city. And there were sacrifices,
oh.
mainly to do with convenience,
Only
everyday
that, yeah,
conveniences.
yeah.
But then we gained so much, right?
Yeah.
Just
I'm curious. Who was the first convert? Was it you or GP, or who influenced whom?
Actually, Jippy's very in tune with his role as a dad and providing like really good, authentic moments and playtime for the children. And he was getting tired of going to the mall. Like, okay, it's the weekend, where do we go?
Mall again.
Mall, tas ang ingay-ingay, and then it's, he didn't find it very healthy.
Relaxing.
Yes.
So he started the fun farm in Santa
Oh,
Elena.
yes,
Said he
yes.
wanted to make an outdoor natural
Yes.
playground.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when that happened, we would go to Santa Elena every
Yes.
weekend.
Yeah.
And then
Spend it
it got to a point where we were like, why don't we just live here? We're here
Yeah.
so much already anyway.
And the kids were enjoying.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure.
So it really became more about the intention to provide them with
A wholesome life.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I think how things turned out, right? You just kept on going with where life was taking you.
What about fashion now? Tell us about your
What
brand.
happened?
Are these various facets of your life connected to each other?
Yeah, I don't know how, but somehow it managed to to flow in the same stream. So I I took a sabbatical from fashion, cared for my family, and that's when we started the farm.
Yes.
And then when the children were a bit older,
Yes.
my husband was like, you know, I see you reading up about fashion again, like you're reading books again. And I was like, yeah, I know, I kind of miss it. And he's like, why don't you get back? But then I had already been into organic food
Yes.
and that lifestyle. And I said, I can't because fashion's like such a polluting industry. And like,
the waste. Oh,
like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
don't think I can go back into it like that anymore.
okay.
You know, and I kind of already knew what went into the fibers and the dyeing. So I was like, I can't do that. There's no way, it's impossible. But with more research, I was like, oh, okay, if I streamline the brand, the collection, into something very simple, without the use of too much high-tech fabrics or prints, then it might actually be possible. So the only question is, would anybody like it? So, but you know, thankfully they did. I started with
Yeah.
a small collection of all natural textiles.
What's the name of the brand?
Hindy Weber Every Day.
Every day. Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because every day, I call it every day because every day we can make choices that are,
Yes, yes.
you know, good for us
And the planet.
and the planet. So I only use natural materials
Natural materials like what?
like linen or
Linen.
flax,
Okay, beautiful.
organic cotton.
See, we're
Okay.
showing some of your.
Yes,
Yeah.
so only organic cotton.
Yeah.
And my dyes are all non-toxic dyes.
Oh.
So I only work with a very small dyeing factory. And we use plant dyes or synthetic dyes that are non-toxic.
Nice.
So non-carcinogenic, and when they go into the rivers, it's not polluting. It gets
To harm
cleaned
the environment.
and filtered before it goes into the water system.
And, okay, go ahead, go ahead. No, I was going to say that I noticed, I was looking at your designs. I think they're for young people, for old people, doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, if you're 60, you
You
could
can still wear that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my
Yeah.
teen girls wear it.
Yes.
And my mom, who's 70, wears it. I have
Yeah.
customers in their 70s,
Oh,
Galing.
all ages. It just depends how you style it, or
Oh,
how
yeah.
you like. Yeah, like this. If you wear it with a belt,
Then it'll look different.
then it, you know.
Yeah. So how does one get these things? How does one buy
It's
from
all
you
online.
online? What's the online address? Or
HindyWeber.com.
it's easy to
So
remember.
it's HindyWeber.com. And I'm also on Instagram. We accept
Okay.
orders on Instagram.
Okay. But you're also into something new, we heard. Something different again. So tell me more
It's
about that.
like, I have a bath and beauty line
Ah,
as well.
yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
For me, it's just an extension of the clothing, of the apparel, because it's a whole lifestyle. I mean, it's what I use at home also, so I might as well make it part of the entire brand.
What makes it different? I'm so
Yeah.
excited about all this. What makes your products different?
Well, so they're preservative free,
Okay.
sodium lauryl sulfate free, paraben free,
All the bad
phthalate free.
Bad things.
So
free.
they're not they don't
Oh.
disrupt hormones. They're non-carcinogenic,
Okay.
and the premium ingredients really for skin and hair and body. Yeah.
It must be expensive.
For the very concentrated skincare,
Yeah.
it's 2,500. My best-selling
okay.
face oil
Yeah,
is
yeah.
2,500, and that's super potent and concentrated.
It's reasonable.
And my shampoos
Yeah.
are $7.95, $8.95.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Ano rin?
Again, by online. We
Yes.
we buy
Order
by.
via-
Okay.
I've sold out of my bath line already for Christmas though, so
Oh,
You're
that's
I'm producing
good.
more. That's another
Okay.
thing. I'm only producing in
Enough.
small batches.
Do you have anything for the skin?
Yes, my face oil and
Oh,
eye balm, lash balm,
okay.
eyebrow balm.
Okay. So where do you source
From
your
the farm?
ingredients?
Yes, we have a producer here in the Philippines who has the strictest standards,
Okay.
and I produce here, and then I purchase fabrics in Bali
Okay.
because
Yeah.
they have the natural organic
Oh,
fabrics
oh.
there. We haven't quite perfected that yet here in the
Okay.
Philippines.
Maybe that's something you can
Yes,
develop
Yes.
this year.
it's just that it's a lot of work because it has to come from the seed, right? So it's
Really?
fashion's very tied into the agricultural
I know.
Oh.
industry too.
So
Like
it's really quite possible to have something like that here as long as somebody starts to
yes, and
innovate.
it has to be make sense financially. So
Yes, yes.
for a small brand like mine, it's very difficult to penetrate. So it really has to be like a
Government.
national
Yeah, but I think
campaign.
there are efforts now, right?
Yes.
To develop our own textile.
Yeah, right now it's
Philippines.
mostly to do with weaves. And of course we have piña and
Yes.
abaca. So those are great. But to go into textiles for everyday casual wear, that's a little bit more difficult. So, but you know,
So-
eventually,
You must have a lot of customers already. Do you have regular clients, friends who buy from you often?
yes, I love them. Thank you so much.
Are we allowed to mention names?
I have my VIP clients. I have my muses.
Like who are these
And-
muses?
Oh, I don't like.
Okay. Maybe we'll do a different interview or.
Well, we just had Isa Calzado visit
Oh
my showroom.
wow, the host.
Yeah.
Oh, the most.
So that was our that was a nice
Oh.
visit from a celebrity.
Oh yes.
So we have some celebrities, influencers,
Yes.
but actually mostly it's like these working moms.
Yeah. Did you say
Who
you have
want-
a showroom?
Yes, my showroom.
Where is
Because
it?
I don't have a store yet
Yeah. But where is the showroom?
in Makati in Poblacion.
Okay. Where there?
Punta tayo.
Enriquez Street.
Okay.
Enriquez.
It's called Hindy Weber.
Yes, but it's by appointment because it's
okay,
just a
okay.
showroom. It's not a retail
So
shop.
we'll get in touch.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can make an appointment if you want to fit the clothes because some people don't want to order online, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
And you'll get the best personal service.
Yes. You mean you're there?
Yes, if it's by appointment.
Okay. Okay.
I'm wondering
wow.
now how your
Okay, okay.
schedule goes for the day. Where you have your tour.
Yeah, I
and then
know,
you
exactly.
Have your showroom, then you design.
Yeah,
and then-
if I'm unable to make it, then I have a great team too.
Okay. So what else do you plan to accomplish?
For this year. Yeah. 2024.
Anything brewing in your mind about?
I really want to
For you
have a
to do.
store already.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's the brand's ready for a little shop,
Okay.
so that I can complete the lineup of bath and beauty apparel,
Yes.
accessories.
Are you
Yeah, I
thinking
think-
of a mall or should it be a
Standalone
standalone
boutique.
Yeah.
somewhere in a
I'm
community?
not sure. I've been looking in malls, but nothing's come up yet. So
Okay.
I'm
yeah.
taking that as a sign that maybe I should look elsewhere. But really, our market shops in malls, right?
Yeah.
It's where
I think there's a new kind of mall development now where there's an outdoors component.
That's
parang-
possible.
Yeah, it's not like a big box, but different.
Yeah.
Di ba yung Parkal is like
Oh.
that?
where's that?
somewhere in Pasay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or parang tindisitas.
Oh, parang mga
Oo.
ganon. Well,
Yeah.
Separate booths, no?
yeah, that's yeah. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm,
really
I'm
enjoy
very
this conversation.
I'm very
Yeah.
conservative
Um,
with my business because I'm still very much a mom and very hands-on
Yes,
with
yes,
with the kids.
Okay.
And
yeah,
my youngest is 10,
Oh, may
so
10 ka
he's still
needs
yeah.
care and okay.
You know, before we end this, just one more question.
Okay.
And I must ask this. Why do you look so youthful?
Yeah. What's your secret?
Ano regimen mo? What do you do?
Hindy Weber. Hindy Weber Skin, bath and beauty.
Okay. We should have that.
Check it out, everybody.
But I don't know. I think movement is number one. Of course, food.
Oo nga, ano.
I wish I
The
could
right
say
food.
sleep, but I'm not the best at that because my mind's always like thinking and doing. But yeah, but food and movement.
Oo. Oh, tama naman. Okay. We should be
Yeah. So is
having
there,
another interview
Yeah,
with
conversation.
Hindy.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
food next time.
Yes.
because that's a whole topic
Yeah.
to talk about. But
And we should visit the farm.
know,
What is the farm
Yeah.
called?
maybe we can do
Holy
a show from
Carabao
there.
Farm.
Holy
Yes,
Carabao
you can.
Farm.
Right? Let
That would be
tour.
so nice.
Yeah. Let's do an on-site.
Now that we
Martin
can.
Yavera visited us already there. He brought his crew and
Oh, let's do
Went
that.
around.
it's fun.
Fun.
In
Sige,
the
sige.
cafe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ridden a Carabao yet, Jojo?
No, but I grew
I
up in
wanna
the
do that.
province.
There you go. We're
I
gonna
grew
get you
up-
on a Carabao again.
I grew up in Isabela. I finished agriculture in the local state university.
Okay.
But I never, I've never done that.
You see?
There's
Now's your
always the
chance.
First time.
I
yeah.
invite you to come to Holy Carabao Farm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
So
that.
before we say goodbye, is there anything you'd like to
Yeah.
to
To
tell
our audience.
Well, thank you for tuning in. I had such a great time with Dinah and Jojo. I want to wish everyone a happy, blessed New Year.
Yes.
I know 2023 wasn't easy. Well, the last few years wasn't easy. But if we really connect to one another from a place of mutual respect and honoring one another as well as our planet, then especially the children, we can take care of the children,
Yes.
then we'll make better headway towards the kind of world we'd like. And in terms of my business, I just want to invite you to please check out hindyweber.com for fashion. We're also on Instagram. And Holy Carabao for Holy Carabao on Instagram. Our website's still being fixed, but you can visit Holy Carabao on Instagram to book your farm tours and field trips. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Hindy.
Thank you, Hindy.
That was
Thank you.
fun. That was informative.
And so
We enjoyed every moment.
every moment. Thank you everyone for watching Pairfect. We hope you learned a lot from this conversation with a very inspiring Hindy Weber Tantoco. It has been a pleasure having you with us
Thank
today.
you.
Yes.
Thank
Once
you.
again, I'm Dinah Ventura,
And I am Jojo Silvestre.
and this has been
Pairfect.